nampak kalau Arteta ambil Harvard pun mungkin sebab Jesus inject kan, untuk mengisi kekosongan tu. Tapi aku tak setuju dengan harga tu.
Alright, Assalamualaikum kepada semua. Selamat datang kepada Roast Your Balls, podcast santai-santai bola sepak dan sukan-sukan tempatan dan whatever yang kita rasa macam happy and fun for sports lah in general, with balls kan.
Apa saja yang melibatkan bola.
Apa saja yang melibatkan balls. Jangan otak kuning kat rumah sana. Aku Arif dan bersama aku adalah Zudi atau Abg Long, our resident Liverpool fan. Masih lagi kesorangan, masih lagi walking alone sebab tak ada kawan dia langsung di sini. So kita tak suka yang panjang. Kita go through with it. Last kita ada cakap pasal Chelsea, game week 4, it's still early, what they're supposed to do, whether or not Chelsea will do it, up to them. But kita ketepikan, Chelsea tak penting. Biar Chelsea tu. Cameraman kita tolak tepi. Macam cameraman kita kat belakang kamera, kita tolak dia ke tepi. So kita fokus pula dekat Arsenal and Man U. Big game.
Betul.
At least for early season, for me at least, big game sebab aku peminat Arsenal. Untuk Zudi peminat Liverpool, mungkin Man U kalah, dia happy. So congrats. 3-1. Nampak macam besar 3-1 tu. Tapi on the field, in the TV, berdebar aku bila aku tengok that whole game. Sampaikan tahap aku punya macam adalah kenalan aku seorang peminat Liverpool juga. Dia kata dah lama tak tengok full game. Tapi that game was really explosive. Arsenal dominate the possession. Man U banyak main on the counter and dia orang opening the score dulu, which is Rashford. I mean it's Rashford. He is in form, good for him scoring the goal. But then Arsenal balas balik within a minute plus.
30 something.
And then Arsenal is back on track. But then the game kind of just stuck in that 1-1 for a while juga. Man U tak dapat nak buat apa. Man U tak dapat nak bolos through the defensive lah. Until minute yang hujung-hujung where they brought in fresh legs. Arsenal pula banyak peluang tapi tak nak masuk. For example like Havertz, dia ada satu depan goal. And then dia macam sikit je dia touch and then diketepikan oleh Lisandro Martinez. And then Saka pun dapat satu chance bila Jesus dah masuk, dia dapat satu chance. Dia shoot direct kepada keeper. So to me macam it was weird lah. It's a great game.
Betul.
But lewat malam, so aku macam tengah ngantuk and then berdebar lagi. So aku sepanjang malam tu macam cepatlah habis menang ke apa.
Game ni pun Man U main lagi baik daripada game-game previous game dia orang.
That's the thing about Man U though. Bila dia jumpa dengan Arsenal, regardless of where, dia akan perform. Even during the time yang lepas Sir Alex tu, dia macam kind of shit. But lawan dengan Arsenal je, dekat Old Trafford especially, dia tiba dia akan naik. That's just how Man U is. It's just how big the rivalry is. Because Man U, orang boleh kata macam long OG, one of the OG clubs. Menang banyak kan. Dengan Arsenal pula, this new, at the time, new team yang kalahkan dia orang. Dapat Invincibles apa semua. So, for Arsenal, is like the underdog lah. Always at the time. Nowadays kita tak boleh kata Arsenal underdog anymore. But back then Arsenal banyak kali jadi underdog bila jumpa dengan Man U. So Man U will always perform regardless of how badly they are doing. But bila kita tengok pasal that game, one player comes to mind, to me at least, Havertz. Yeah, we talk about Chelsea spending, Chelsea selling, and then Arsenal beli Havertz for 65 mil. Aku tanya Pian, kita punya cameraman, dia kata dia tak faham kenapa Arsenal beli. Aku tanya kawan-kawan aku, semua tak faham kenapa Arsenal beli. Sebab to me dia macam invisible sikit. Kamera kat Pian. Memang tengah cari the reasoning for Havertz. But no, in all seriousness, bila apa tu, Arsenal beli, and dekat aku follow kat Reddit, aku follow kat Twitter, sekarang x.com. Bila nampak nama Havertz yang naik antara yang first, kita dah tahu Rice memang Arsenal target at the time. So semua tengah tunggu. And then Julian Timber was rumoured. Julian Timber. Pada nama Havertz naik. And sekejap dia dah settle. Macam, Havertz? For what? As a top scorer in Chelsea, 9 goals plus a very low count for a top scorer last season. Why did Arsenal beli when the problem with Arsenal is also finishing games and closing games and scoring goals juga. Sebab kita kadang menang 2-1. Adalah few games yang menang besar, but most games is very tight for Arsenal, especially at the time Nketiah pun macam tak solid. Dia masih lagi tengah up sikit lah. Jesus pula baru balik injury, dia tak okay lagi. And then Trossard pun at times okay, at times kalau dia start game dia invisible kan. So why Havertz? Aku tak faham. Bila aku tengok dia punya positioning apa semua, it looks like he's not playing as beautifully as the others. So kalau kau lah as a neutral, bila kau nampak this transfer news, kau fikir macam mana? Pelik tak?
Aku nampak kalau Arteta ambil Havertz pun mungkin sebab Jesus injet kan untuk mengisi kekosongan tu. Tapi aku tak setuju dengan harga tu je lah.
Yalah, 65 million. And then kat position yang sama, you have Fabio Vieira, you have Emil Smith-Rowe. Dua player yang muda, and also Emil Smith-Rowe 2 season lepas buktikan dia boleh score banyak. Cuma dia sideline lama lah because of an operation. And Fabio Vieira baru masuk last season and a bit shaky last season.
Fabio Vieira daripada
Portugal, I think. Porto, I think. I can't specific lah. I mean, yelah, aku
daripada league lain lah.
League lain. So of course dia perlukan masa untuk adapt. And nampak lah masa last season dia kecil, dia senang kena push around by the bigger CBs lah. So this season Havertz masih lagi nail on starter. 4 games in a row now dia start. And a lot of people are he has no goals. Masa dekat Community Shield was one of his closest chances. 2 try depan goal and ditepis oleh keeper at the time. I think Ortega. So really good goalkeeper. It was a really fun match, 1-1. Memang berdebar jugalah. But with Havertz ni kita macam, why are you there? Even when he's playing as a striker, even when he was playing as a midfielder, a lot of people tak faham. And I think only Arteta at this point yang betul-betul faham what exactly Havertz brings, you know. He tries. Mungkin dia punya body language nampakkan itu macam malas sikit. Dia macam Trossard sikit lah. Macam Trossard muka dia macam tak cukup tidur. Havertz macam dia
nampak
sentiasa nak tidur. Dia macam sentiasa nak tidur. Even dia punya running apa semua, orang kata positioning dia tak okay sangat. Aku pun macam tak lah. But Arteta seems to back him. And for me, as a fan, aku akan kata for now, trust the process. Arteta hasn't done wrong in the past 5 years. Yang since dia masuk. But kalau kau neutral fan, takkan kau rasa dia just replacement, sebab Arsenal dah ada dah replacement kat situ. Kau rasa in Liverpool terms, kau rasa ada tak yang this kind of transfer yang berlaku? Yang pernah berlaku macam ni, kau rasa macam, why did we buy this guy and what is his use? And then dia asyik main juga. Ada ke? Ataupun Liverpool
so far tak ada. Kalau ada pun yang itu hari, kenapa dia beli Arteta, dan tapi Arteta pun tak dapat peluang main lah satu
Arteta
game.
Melo lah. Dia loan je.
Loan je. Lepas tu terus habis satu game je main.
Nampak sedih tu. Like those kind of loans are a bit sad lah. When you have like big names yang kau bawa macam should be your tonggak.
Betul.
But then tak jadi. But that it is what it is. Arsenal pun ada a few loans yang kita boleh kata tak menjadi sangat. I think it was one of Real Madrid punya player juga tu, seorang striker, aku tak ingat apa nama dia. Bawa juga tapi tak jadi. Lepas pulang balik ke Real and dia happy kat Real, so okay lah, good for him lah. Kita dapat Odegaard, so good for that. But speaking of Havertz, that is one issue in a huge issue yang ramai fans, bukanlah kata criticize, some Arteta out, yang kata Arteta ni eksperimentasi dia pelik-pelik sikit. Nah, for last season, especially bila ramai player dah injured, dia letak Thomas Partey as a right back. You know, Thomas Partey who is usually playing for DM. Why? We're not sure. Now we can see lah kenapa dia nak bawa macam tu, sebab nanti dia akan invert ke dalam. But with Havertz kadang-kadang lah dia main 2 DM, so Rice dengan Partey, that kind of experimentation boleh bawa good results, boleh bawa bad results, especially when versus Fulham, within 1 minute goal. Sebab that kind of experimentation. Partey masuk ke tengah, right back dia ialah Ben White, and then ada kekosongan, satu lompong besar yang masuk, siapa yang score? Paulinho seterusnya Pereira dapat score. Of course Ramsdale pun buat silap jugalah. But that kind of experimentation brings a lot of issues, you know. As a last season kita lawan Arsenal lawan Liverpool, kau rasa macam mana? Do we need that kind of experimentation kalau lawan dengan kelab besar, ataupun kita just gunain something solid? I mean, better of course kau nak kalah
untuk lawan yang kelab yang kita tahu lagi besar tu, punya rivalry, memang bukan masanya untuk eksperimen lah. Sebab aku tak tahu, aku rasa mungkin Arteta ni terlalu nak ikut Pep. Sebab kita nampak Pep dekat Man City macam mana eksperimen dia. Tapi Pep dia berjaya. Arteta ada setengah eksperimen dia ni bahaya pada kelab kan. Mungkin as a fan macam siapa tengok bola nak kalah kan, semua kita nak menang kan.
Stress lah. Macam week in and week out sometimes kau garu kepala. Kenapa manager aku buat benda macam ni?
Betul. Kenapa kau nak kena ubah benda yang dah macam kau dah tahu previous 3 game kau dah gunakan benda yang tu yang dan berhasil. Tiba-tiba nak tukar macam
Pening. Klopp buat tak? Ke Klopp yang aku tahu macam baru-baru ni eksperimentasi lah. Dia punya Trent Alexander-Arnold lah. Dia bawa ke midfield. Yang itu berjaya lah. Sebab memang daripada dulu pun orang kata
sebenarnya Trent lebih sesuai kat midfield.
Cuma
Southgate pun buat benda yang sama kita
cuma
nampak.
Cuma apa kita panggil, dia time defensive mungkin dia
defensive
turun lah. But a lot of people kritik juga yang Trent tu tak bagus sebenarnya as a defender, and that's fine, you know, good criticism, and it makes sense because kita tengok bila orang target belah Trent senang jugalah bolos. But it is what it is. Liverpool, they have strengthened, but as a fan luar aku tengok masih ada kelemahan kat midfield korang.
Midfield masih lagi lemah.
Macam gitu-gitu je.
Sekarang ni tak ada lagi yang betul boleh gantikan Fabinho, Henderson. Even though waktu Gini keluar pun sampai sekarang tak ada lagi player yang boleh gantikan tempat Gini tu.
Betul. And then speaking of like midfield, we can see in the opposite end of the game, Man U. I feel like Man U tak ada vision or clue what to do. Dia orang suka dapat bola in transition and then dia akan counter. But bila dia orang pegang bola and team tak press dia orang tak tahu nak buat apa. Dia orang tak boleh nak progress the play. Aku tengok macam Bruno, some of the players are very invisible. Aku nampak Anthony, Anthony ada. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is aku nampak simply because dia block Martinelli. So it's always players yang good defensively, yang shine during the times yang Man U lawan dengan klub-klub lain lah. Except for Rashford, because Rashford is just scoring goals. But in general aku tengok dia orang punya midfield dia tak cohesive. Even defenses dia orang pun sekarang lagi lah kosong. Martinez keluar, masuk Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw long term Luke Shaw tak silap aku. So now dia orang tinggal Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. So like pairing from Leicester one season after kemenangan dia orang beli, and now both of them are in Man U, and that's also something yang macam kita boleh kata desperation in Man U punya side. Because diorang, I don't know, a lot of people kata Ten Hag akan bawa something new. To me, not really. At least right now, dia macam tak ada perubahan. I still feel like Man U is kinda stagnant.
Sebab dia buat Anthony pun tak nampak apa lagi yang Anthony dulu.
A lot of people kata just fidget spinning, pusing. And he does that well. He does that really well. But that doesn't score goals. And sure, dia punya debut goal dekat Arsenal last season lawan Arsenal Old Trafford. That sucks. But since then, player macam Anthony, Richarlison, all these players yang orang kata macam great players, young players, tak perform. And there's always those names yang kita tak sangka tiba-tiba naik. Saliba contohnya baru balik daripada Perancis, now one of the best CBs in the league lah. Maybe not as good as Virgil van Dijk, but he is older, much more experienced. So Man U, aku tak tahulah kenapa dengan dia orang. I feel like they have lost a lot of their passion, a lot of their identity and DNA, so as an Arsenal fan, aku happy je lah bila dia orang tak
betul. Sebagai Liverpool pun lagi lah aku suka dia
lagi lah kan. Kita macam to us it's a great result 3-1. Of course kau nak seri, but 3-1 to me great. But for Man U fans out there, and aku tahu ramai because aku daripada dulu saya kena bahan dengan Man U fans, but aku minat Arsenal, saya kalah, Chelsea senyum je kau ya. Chelsea lah. Sebab Chelsea pun kadang-kadang menang kalah kat orang. But Man U dah macam not as they were before. They are no longer that top. Dah. They are consistently boleh menang game, but they always win it very small margin.
Betul.
And bila dia kalah teruk. 7-0 of course. Big. Last season 4-0 lah apa semua. So it's really funny to me as a Arsenal fan to see a club once feared to play against, now just macam lah. And that's good. That shows that the league has become much more competitive, and no one except for now Man City pegang the league, and it makes the whole league much more fun. But Man U, I don't think Ten Hag is for them. At the very least not the one yang akan bawa. They need an overhaul, aku rasa, sebab dia orang kata dia punya stadium dah teruk, training ground dia dah lapuk. Even Cristiano Ronaldo pun marah rasa dia caw pergi ke Al-Nassr kan. So macam entahlah.
Dia mungkin sebab kita nampak Man U dia punya down tu lepas Sir Alex dah keluar. Dia tak konsisten kan. Mungkin ada few game yang nampak dia menang masa Mourinho pun ada naik sekejap, lepas tu dia turun balik. Mungkin nak kata zaman, mungkin boleh cakap juga macam dah satu era yang kau akan nampak satu kelab tu akan jatuh dan satu kelab lain akan naik balik kan.
To me that one is also obvious lah kan. Macam Arsenal bila Arsene Wenger hujung-hujung tu dia dah tak okay, and then dia leave, and then Emery masuk, and then itu pun terabur, and then Emery keluar, baru sekarang dia macam stabilize sikit. But Man U macam tak ada that kind of stabilization. Dia macam naik turun and they still doing that. Even when they change managers, Ole Gunnar, Van Gaal, apa semua tu, it still tak ada that consistency yang kita boleh kata Man U is back.
Dia macam dah menang satu title, lepas tu dah flop naik apa semua kan.
It's really weird lah, and in a good way for me, simply because it's Man U, but in the thousands and millions of fans yang kita kenal, Man U fans, ada kita seorang kat office ni yang kita bahan-bahan sikit, it's just funny lah. And I feel like their signings are also weird. Onana, I don't think he is an improvement. I don't think lah, at least. Yeah, De Gea has a lot of stinkers. But aku tengok
pada aku De Gea lagi still lagi better dia.
Short stopping De Gea.
Yeah,
sure, boleh nampak Onana boleh passing apa semua. Aku nampak. But in general Onana is not there lah.
Betul. Bila one on one pun dia macam tak tahu apa nak buat.
Yes, kita nampak a few times yang dia macam dive terlalu awal.
Betul.
Kita nampak kelakar lah. Basically Onana is very funny.
Dia lebih kepada ball playing, dia daripada bawah kau nak ke attacking. Tu dia boleh buat.
Yeah, and so far Man U tak ada player yang boleh that system. Playing from the back dia tak ada.
Betul.
Dia akan ada bola, and then dia akan lob ke depan, and then maybe Rashford akan dapat ke, Bruno ke, siapa akan dapat, and then baru dia akan try something. I feel like Man U in that sense dia tak bawa, macam mana kata, dia macam separuh jalan between trying to play possession but not having the players who are smart enough for that. I know Ten Hag cuba dia cuba bawa balik dia punya player from Ajax.
Yes.
Martinez, I think Anthony as well, and then dia cuba nak bawa Timber tapi last season tak jadi, and then this season Arsenal pula yang dapat. So macam I don't know lah. For me aku biar je lah. For me when you kalah is a great thing for me. Aku suka sebab Arsenal pun yelah, it shows that they're still growing. But it also shows yang aku a bit scared jugalah for Arsenal in the long term, because it's a scrappy game. Kita orang seri for 90 plus minutes, and then
hampir kalah,
offside goal. So there was, aku dah lega gila. And then dapat goal last minute through Rice, who is like the most expensive Arsenal to buy, and then they score. And then finally Jesus score goal pertama dia versus Man U, and that's a great thing juga for me. Aku happy dapat tutup lah weekend aku dengan kegembiraan. Macam last week kita seri dua sama dengan Fulham, aku sedih, aku murung. This week aku rasa happy. Cuma itulah Liga M tak ada. Speaking of Liga M, of course international break akan datang ni lah. Next week. Technically dah start dah pun, but next week is the full international break. A lot of clubs tak main. Aku akan rasa kebosanan on the weekend, tak tahu nak buat apa. Aku nak tengok apa Syah nanti weekend ni. Tengok drama ke, tengok movie ke apa, macam tak ada benda tengah menarik.
Tengok highlight je.
Tengok highlight je. Tengok highlight yang time menang je. Nanti aku tengok balik yang Arsenal lawan Chelsea last season. Menang dua kali. No. Gurau. Sorry ya Pian, jangan marah. Dia dah jadi kita punya target baru dah. Kita lepas dah boleh apa tu, nak ambil dah. Dia dah bagi cue, dah marah tu. Lepas ni dia kata kalau cakap buruk pasal Chelsea, dia akan format balik kita punya memory card ni. Tapi tak apa, Malaysia akan jumpa dengan Syria. At the time of this is dia akan jumpa dengan Syria. Record is not good. Syria is 2 wins 0 losses against us. Kita pula lawan dengan kelab-kelab Arab ni macam kelakar-kelakar sikit. Lawan Bahrain leading 2-0 years ago, kalah 3-2. It sucks. I love the country punya team. I hope they do well. But that mentality and that level kita masih to me tak sampai lagi. But you know, can be improved on, and I think Kim Panggon should be good lah. At least, hopefully. So itu saja untuk episod kali ni. Maybe not as best as bashing Chelsea last time. Ni nak bash menu pun tak boleh. Tapi ikutilah podcast Roast Your Balls di Spotify. Kalau tak jumpa, search je SeeNI Podcast. SeeNI. SeeNI. Jumpa lagi di episod akan datang. So bye-bye.